The moon, still hanging in the western sky like it forgot to leave. Pale, translucent, a ghost of itself against the lightening blue. It's been here all night, watching over the lake, the oaks, the acorns I should be collecting, and now it's reluctant to go. I understand that reluctance. Someone going to work, someone coming home, someone driving through the dark for reasons only they know, their lives briefly intersecting with this park, this moment, this particular configuration of moon and morning. The moon doesn't care about any of us. It just hangs there, doing what moons do, pulling tides, marking time, being beautiful without trying. Must be nice. This is the moment before joggers, before dog walkers, before people who need to reconnect with nature because they spent too much time disconnected from it by their own design. There, that's me, looking directly at your camera with what I can only describe as profound disappointment. I'm a fox squirrel, Squirrel's niger, 8 pounds of fur and muscle and relentless anxiety about food security. My entire evolutionary history has prepared me for one thing: finding calories and hiding them before winter. Except this is Florida, so there is no winter. Which means I'm just perpetually anxious, perpetually caching, perpetually convinced I haven't stored enough. And you've interrupted that. The lake is still. That sentence doesn't work grammatically, but it's true. The water hasn't moved. The reflection hasn't shifted. It's like time stopped and forgot to start again. Humans come here and see nature, see beauty, see stillness. We see breakfast, territory, survival. Both can be true, I suppose. Woodpecker, pileated probably, Dracopus pileatus, hidden somewhere in the canopy excavating breakfast from dead wood. Drilling for carpenter ants and beetle larvae with that you can't see it. I can barely see it, and I live here. But you can hear the work. The persistent rhythmic percussion of a bird doing exactly what it's built to do. No audience, no appreciation, just tap, 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 food, survival, continuation. And there, in the distance, electrical towers marching across the horizon like metal giants carrying power from somewhere to somewhere else. Wires stretching to infinity, connecting this place to the grid, to the city, to the world that needs mental health walks because it's too connected to function. They're ugly, let's be honest, purely functional. No one puts electrical towers on postcards or writes poetry about high-voltage transmission lines, but they're also kind of magnificent. The way they recede into the distance, each one identical, each one necessary. The way they ignore aesthetics entirely and just do their job. Moving electricity, enabling civilization, making it possible for humans to live in air-conditioned houses and then drive here to experience nature. The fountain in the lake is running now. Some parks department employee who also woke up at 5:47 a.m. but for actual work reasons, turned it on. Water arcing into the air, catching the early light, throwing spray that creates tiny rainbows in the mist. Rainbows? In a fountain? In a suburban park? At dawn. You know what's strange? Rainbows are just physics. Light refraction through water droplets, wavelengths separating into their component colors. There's nothing magical about it. It's just what happens when conditions align. And yet, it's still beautiful. Still worth stopping for. Still makes you feel like the universe is showing off a little. Beauty that exists regardless of who witnesses it. Beauty that would happen even if no one came here for mental health walks. Even if I were the only one watching while I should be caching acorns. Maybe that's what separates you from us. We do what we need to do to survive. You do extra things, unnecessary things, fountains, rainbows, slow motion videos, mental health walks. Maybe that's not weakness. Maybe that's something else. The oaks around this loop, there must be a dozen of them. Each one massive, spreading, ancient. Their canopies overlap, creating this cathedral effect. Columns of trunk, arches of branches, filtered light coming through like stained glass made of leaves. I live in these trees. I know every branch, every hollow, every cache site. I know which ones drop the best acorns and which ones are all show, no substance. But I've never really looked at them, not like this, not as a whole. They're magnificent, collectively. The way they frame the path, the lake, the sky, the way Spanish moss hangs like grey lace from every limb. There's an alligator, right there, on the far bank, lounging, sunning itself in the early light like it owns the place, which technically it does. This is Florida. The alligator doesn't need mental health walks. It doesn't need to reconnect with anything, it just is. Maybe that's what the humans are looking for. Not connection to nature, but permission to just be. And finally, this. A cherry blossom, single bloom, pink and perfect and completely out of place in a Florida park, but here it is anyway. I get it. The mental health walks. The need to come here to this loop, to these oaks, to see the still water and the herons and the alligators, and yes, even the cherry blossoms that don't belong but bloom anyway. You need this, you humans. You built a world that moves too fast, that demands too much, that never lets you stand still like a heron, or lounge like an alligator, or just be. So you come here, to remember what stillness feels like, to see beauty that exists without requiring anything from you, to walk slowly, or in your case, film slowly, and let the morning light filter through oak leaves and maybe for 7 minutes stop racing toward the next thing.